Yo, yo, yo. Hey, I'm Mark Buckner with the Mark Buckner Group and the Ben Lawless team. And today I am here with Remy, aka Marshall Remington Petty?
Grove.
Petty Grove. It's a
The
mouthful.
the
First,
third.
first, let's unpack this. I've only known you by Remy. What happens that you get Marshall, which I think is a cool name,
Yeah.
and we
Uh
go by Remy. Remy's not by any means a bad name. I like Remington
yeah.
too. So how does this come about that you go by Remy?
So we all go by our middle names in our family, just to make it more complicated.
But why? There's a story
I
there.
honestly don't know why. I think just so everybody's not because there's my
Because
grandfather's
everyone's called Marshall
Marshall. Yeah.
Remington?
Well, no, they're all Marshall. So if everybody was like, yeah.
Okay.
So like I'm the third. My son is Marshall Towns Pettygrove, but he goes by Towns.
So
Yeah.
is it just the first male that gets Marshall? Because
That
he's the
yeah
fourth.
yeah he's the fourth. So
Rites of passage is firstborn son gets Marshall.
Marshall, yeah, that is, yeah. That
And
is
why
correct.
did you keep the tradition? That's like my wife. I think my wife would have wrote that off. That would have been a hard sell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um,
She's like, we're not. Just so you know, before you even had a kid, she'd be like, just so you know, we're not naming him Marshall.
yeah.
He's not being called Mark. Okay.
Um, I think that it was just a name, and the whole name kind of just it went well. Marshall Towns Pettygrove.
Towns is like awesome name too.
Yeah. So I maybe it would have been different if it was like if it didn't flow as well. I don't know. Shoot, Brittany was really open to it.
But you didn't even question it.
Actually, we only picked. It's funny. We picked one name, and we were gonna name. That was the name. Like we only had one name.
So
For
if
the-
it was a boy or a girl, it was Marshall.
It was Towns, a boy or girl. It was going to be Towns.
What was going to be the girl's first
It would
name?
just, yeah.
Or is it was going to be Towns?
No. It was, yeah, it was going to be Towns. It would just be Towns Pettygrove. But my sister, she goes by her middle name. Her first name is Catherine Sterling Pettygrove. She goes by Sterling.
Why?
I don't know.
We
It's
need.
just a church.
I
it's
think
just-
I need to get the parents in and unpack this shit.
Yeah, you want me to FaceTime? They're divorced. It's going to be, to get them both on there, it'll just be sticky. So,
That would be a great interview.
That would be,
That's-
honestly, it would be,
All right. So on this channel, we talk primarily everything about real estate, living in Chicago, buying, selling, renting, maintaining properties, and we also talk about small businesses. But today, I want to talk to you about what's the process been like because you're buying your second home right now.
my second primary residence.
Your second primary
Yeah,
residence.
I have
So how many
some-
properties have you bought in your career?
That I have right now, or that I
That you
no,
just
yeah,
bought over.
I don't know off the top of my head, but around 10.
Shut up.
Yeah, I have a multi-unit in Little Village. And then I have like 5 single-family homes.
Where are the single family homes?
In Lansing and in South Chicago, like Rosemore. One is there. And then mine now that I'm going to rent out is in Hermosa. And I have a couple in Lansing.
So
it,
there's
yeah,
a
couple
there's
in
there's a
Lansing.
bigger story here than I realized. So
Yeah.
when did you start collecting Monopoly pieces?
I've always been into like, that's how I got my real estate license, is like I just was interested in investing. And then actually let's back up a little further. I actually got into real estate because of that, but also because I love music and I was a musician, and I was like, oh, I'll just do real estate part-time. You can make, some money.
You're
Yeah.
gonna do it on the side and make a boatload of
Side-
cash.
Yeah.
Some side hustle.
Side hustle. Yeah, that was the original plan. It turned out to be a really serendipitous. I really like what I do, and now I'm kind of transitioning. But
So
anyways,
you got into the industry by buying homes for investments.
no, I got into it. So I was a musician. I always loved real estate investing. And so that was like what drew me into real estate. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just sell real estate and I can still do my music. And I can also, that would lead me into investing. And then I got into the, residential real estate, slinging houses. And then that I noticed really quickly that wasn't a part-time job. That was a 24-hour a day job, pretty much 7 days a week. And then I just, I pursued it because I enjoyed it. And then from that, I was able to get into collecting the Monopoly pieces.
So how long you been in the field?
A decade now. Yeah, since 2014, I got my real estate license. I was at Keller Williams, and then I was with another big agent in the city. And then I was at a small development group, and then at Compass as a principal agent, and then joined the Ben Lawless team.
So you were a principal agent at Compass before you joined BLT. I did not know that.
Yeah. I was at the Milwaukee office right down the street.
So you joined Ben's team pretty quickly there then.
I
didn't notice you until you were out hanging with Ben.
Yeah. Right. I was.
Boy, the wheels are turning, people.
Yeah. I was, I think a year and a half maybe.
Right.
And we were just at the Bucktown office in I'm going to name drop. Eli Massoud, we had a connection, and he's like, you should talk to Ben because I think that because I was kind of poking around seeing like, oh, maybe I should join a team because it's kind of lonely out there, right? As a solo agent.
Yeah, it can be.
It can be.
No doubt about that.
And I was like, oh, maybe I'll, and he's like, you should talk to Ben because like, I think that you guys will connect. And I talked to Ben, and then it was just like, Ben got his claws in me, and he's got a way of doing.
He does. He is a really good courter. There's no doubt about it. He can run a good courtship.
He is. He's very good.
He got a lot of bromances.
Yeah, he does.
But I was bringing this up because we've been talking about the purchase you're making right now, and I made the assumption it was only like your second or third. So what's this one like in relation to others? Do you feel at every purchase you're feeling more confident and solid in it, or is this one more of a roller coaster? What's it like to be on the buy side and a broker? And are you representing yourself?
I am representing myself, and I'm not sure if I would do that again or not. I mean, there's some pros and cons. But I would say this is very different than the investment purchases that I made. I mean, investment purchase, I'm just looking at the numbers, submitting the offer. If it gets accepted, great. I'm following up. But like, I'm not like here. It's quite different. Like I'm all like a little kid, and like I'm unsure about what I'm doing. And
so why are you more? So you're saying you're kind of emotionally attached to this house?
Yeah, because I want to try to make it work. I think because there's a number of reasons, right? It's in an area that I want to be in for schools, family, my family. So there's an attachment there. It's also in a price point in this area. Like I probably wouldn't be able to afford a home in this area if it wasn't, this is just a unique situation. So there's a lot of things going into it. And so I like want to make it work. There's some X factors like we were talking about, like that you were helping me with.
So what makes it more challenging, the other properties that you've bought were strictly investments. The neighborhood wasn't as important. It was, will my purchase price work? Will whatever add value I need to make, will that work? And then will the market support a rent for that investment? And either the numbers work or it doesn't.
Yeah, I have like very, very specific criteria for like the investments that I look for. And I'm like, I'm going to buy for X, put this much into it. Can I get all my money out? And is it going to cash flow X amount of dollars? If it does that, then I'm going to submit an offer. Or at this price, if it does that, then I'll submit an offer. If it doesn't, then I'm keeping an eye on it, or I'm submitting the offer that makes sense for that purchase.
But here, this is more about wanting to get into a specific neighborhood within a certain price point that's in your budget to have to reap that neighborhood amenities for the family growth.
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old, and I want him just like we all do. Like we want our kids to go to good schools, and
Yeah.
and so this is an area that I think has good schools, and it's a good area for our family. And so yeah, there's
No, I get it. I
it's a
mean,
big more of an emotional attachment, because there's probably only like a handful of homes at this price that will pop up in a handful of years, like, so
sure.
it was just a unique kind of situation with some corks in it, and we're trying to figure out, can we fix those corks, those weird things.
What's your gut tell you? Does it work or does it not? Are you up at night thinking about it? Like, because I
Yeah.
think as agents, you know, so prior to this, I was a social worker. Number
Mhm.
one tool that they taught me in 101 School of Social Work was empathy. Be able to walk in your client's shoes, understand where they're coming from. And I think what helps an agent provide a better service is understanding that process of
Mm.
buying and selling as a client, right? So keeping you up
100%.
at night, not keeping you up at night, it's
I think not after today's inspection, there's there's just more questions, so maybe I don't sleep as well tonight. But before this, I was like, yeah, just gonna go through the process, go through the steps. But now there's some X factors, like, that I cannot be answered without the correct industry professional.
yeah. So you need
So
more, you need to do a little more research, a little more data because you want to do a little build. You want to
yeah,
do an addition or some type of build out so to
right.
tweak the floor plan, give you guys a little more livable space on your second floor for the bedrooms.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, understanding, can you build on top of this structure and all that goes into that. So, a structural engineer, getting him involved in being like, but even, like we were talking about, even if he comes out and does a site visit, he's possibly not going to be able to give me with 100% certainty, and that we will be able to build on it. And then it's like a little bit of roll the dice.
Yeah. It's a leap of faith, right?
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're trying to tweak something out and you can't get all the data until you really own the house and start opening walls and
Yeah.
opening up floors and digging into it. So there is that leap of faith. And then it's just like kind of trying to, I guess, and this is where I'm at when I make my own decisions and when I'm with my client. I try to make an educated, informed decision. So then it's like, okay, is that person think they're about 50% accurate, 75% accurate? Like, where are we at? If
Yeah.
you tell me you're like 75, 80%, for me personally, usually I'm willing to take that risk with the investment or the piece of real estate, regardless of what I'm trying to do with that property at that time. If they're like, I don't know, it's a crapshoot. This is like maybe 50-50. It's like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
That risk becomes a little too high for me.
There's that, and there's also, like, I always think about, like, how long do I plan to live there, right? Because
Absolutely.
right, that changes the exit strategy dramatically, and it changes it moves those numbers around, right? I mean, an extreme example is that you need to buy a property that you're going to flip in 3 months or 6 months at a very specific price. But if you're planning on living there for 30 years, it's less relevant in what you buy it today.
Absolutely.
Right.
I thought I made the assumption this is a 20-year home for you.
I think it has a lot. I think it has many more years if we're able to do
that's what I
what we
mean.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's like, probably a 10-year to 15-year stay, as opposed to, if we can't do any of that, then maybe it's like we're bailing,
Yeah.
because there's some quirks to it that I don't know if I want to live with for any period of time.
No, absolutely. And
So
like the home that I'm in, our goal was raise our kids there 20 years. We've been there almost 18. I'm trying to get my wife to agree to get out of there, but she says she wants 4 more years. So.
she's emotionally attached to it,
Or
no?
it is. I've become emotionally attached to the house too. We finally, like 18 years in, you you get it to exactly where you want. And I have it there, but now some of the work that I did 17 years ago, I'm getting about ready to, like, I could do a facelift on my kitchen. I would love to
Yeah.
do a facelift on my kitchen, another negotiation
Yeah.
with my wife. Uh, but we got the house, like every piece of furniture, every piece of artwork, every wall covering, handle, hardware, whatever. It's all like tweaked, man, like rugs, drapery, like it's like the way you want it. So like to kind of pick up and move, but uh,
But what I hear when you say that is like there's a deeper element. Let's get emotional. Let's get deep emotion. There's a sentimental piece to like walking through an empty house that you lived in that you're gonna like close the door for the last
oh
time.
my God,
Like I just got the shivers, like
Yeah.
the goosebumps about that.
I just did a walkthrough yesterday with a client they shipped 2 cars on a trailer, like on a semi trailer to California.
Mhm.
I literally they they were the walkthrough was at 3:45. Their baggage was in like the mudroom with the kids. Kids are having a snack. The car was picking them up at 4:30. The Uber to go to the airport, and I was just like, holy shit, like you guys are doing this. Like you are picking
Yeah.
up your complete lives, your kids' lives,
Yeah.
and you're going to halfway across the country to start fresh somewhere
Yeah.
else. I was just like, I thought about packing up my house after 18 years. I'm like, holy smokes. And I'm not a hoarder. Like
Yeah.
I'm not, but we got a lot of stuff. And then what stuff we're going to get rid of, where we're going to put it, where, like, I was just like, yeah, the emotional attachment
Yeah.
to my house, it's hard. And it's hard to say. I think it's more for my wife. Like, we wanted a home where my kids knew it was home. We wanted, when
Mm.
we bought that house, it
Mm.
was to create memories. We both wanted our kids, because we both had that growing up, one house where you came home, you knew it was home.
Mm.
And this is, I think, taking me into this topic, into a road of what's the value of a home, right?
Mm.
Because when we're negotiating, we're buying it like you are
Yeah.
right now, it's worth X. But then the goal is to create memories, right? We spend, depending on the size of your family, 5 to 10,000 per 1 week vacation
Yeah.
to get a break and great memories. There's no return on that money. The same thing with a home. Like
Yeah.
we all think that there should be X amount of return, but there's also a huge return that you and I are talking about right now in my
Right.
house. And that's where my kids grew up. That's
Mm.
that chapter of my life. That's almost 20 years of my life, me being a parent. Uh,
And you literally close the door on your
close the
way,
door.
and then
That chapter's over.
then it's done.
So I kind
Yeah.
of I think you may be selling me on my wife's camp, but I'm still ready to come back to the city. I have a
Yeah.
new vision. She's like, we need room for the kids. I'm like, don't worry, I'll have room for the kids.
Do you think about, or does the kids emotional the kids emotional your kids emotional attachment, does that play in, or have you thought about that? I'm assuming you have, like, to that house at all,
It's funny, like
or is
I
that
don't know how much emotional attachment my kids have to that house. To be honest with you, they don't tell me that. It's probably me and my wife's emotional attachment to the house with the kids.
Yeah.
Like this is the foursome. I got 2
Yeah.
kids, so that's the core group. That's our home base. That's been our home base
Yeah.
always. When shit goes down, when life's falling apart, we're there. We're in the mudroom. All the bags are on the floor. One's either crying or we're laughing and we're telling the story. And then the dog's in the mix. Like the dog's been with us now for 11 and a half years. And
Yeah.
so like those are my ride and die.
I think the kids probably don't have, like, you don't look back, they won't realize their attachment to it probably until 10 more years, and they look back and like, wow, they drive by and they're
I
like,
think they're going to start, at least for me,
Yeah.
my folks sold their home when I was in graduate school. And I remember feeling different when I came home from college. And I remember when they sold it when I was in graduate school. And I was just like, I can't believe this is not going to be
wow.
like, it was like my security blanket. It's like you could always go home to your folks.
Yes.
and going to your folks and going to that home where hand in hand. And my fantasy is my kids will have that experience now, because my kids are really,
Mm.
I got one in school and one who's going to go away next year, and they're going well out of state. Like, they're not close, not
Yeah.
staying in the Midwest.
How do you feel about that?
I feel good about that.
Yeah.
They're ready.
Good.
We've prepped them for that.
Yeah.
These kids they're ready. Like, I got one in New York and the other one's going to go out west. They're ready.
Nice.
So interesting. So I appreciate you sharing your experiences about the differences as a home buyer and as an agent, and what's that like, because I think the more opportunity we as agents can trade real estate in our personal and professional lives, in our own investments, make us all better brokers and better able to serve our clients. So
For
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.